So, following on from my episode-by-episode breakdowns of Stranger Things Season 2, this is my third act and season roundup, so to speak. These are my thoughts from episode 7 onwards, and overall how I thought the season went, which, overall, was great. So full spoilers ahead for this, but I'm sure you've all shotgunned it this weekend because the hype was real. I had a fantastic time with this season of Stranger Things. I've seen a lot of complaints surrounding the fact it ended on a cliffhanger of sorts. Not something I personally have an issue with at all. We knew before the release of this season that they were planning a multiple season villain, which ended up being the Shadow Monster, or the Mind Flayer, as they ended up calling it at the end of the season. So to me, not a surprise or anything that I was disappointed with. It's also the same as the end to the first season. We ended on a cliffhanger much in the same way. So to those who were disappointed with the ending being a cliffhanger, I would definitely like to know your thoughts and why. There was one episode I really found dull, the Missing Sister episode. Before everyone jumps though, I will say I understand why they did it. I feel that it was pure setup for next season. So as I said, I do understand why they did it, I just found it out of place and a little too on the nose. I do feel, however, this will come into play next season. More specifically, I think the Mind Flayer will interact with her in some way, or just that the other missing children will all come into play with their various powers. So it is what it is, but it definitely slowed the pace for me a lot. Kai Greene was an interesting cameo though. If you don't know who that is, he's one of the top competitive bodybuilders in the entire world and was the big dude in the gang. Didn't find his acting too jarring either, so overall, great to see. The standout for me was the relationship they established between Eleven and Hopper. It came across sincere, genuine, heartfelt and believable, which not only was enjoyable to watch on screen, but it gave me a lot of confidence in David Harbour being the next Hellboy. It was also a great ending, finally, for Eleven, which of course could all fall apart in the next season, but it was great to see, and who doesn't like a little bit of sop in their TV from time to time. The acting from all of the cast was great, solid and engaging. The only person I didn't enjoy so much was Billy, but that's simply because I found this character the most annoying, douchiest thing I've seen on screen for a while. The guy was absolutely obnoxious and wholly unlikable, but that was the point. The child actors were solid in their roles though. They didn't once remove me from what I was watching, and they weren't once annoying unless they were supposed to be in the story, which is the sign of a good child actor in my eyes, as let's face it, no one actually likes watching child actors on screen. They very rarely act and they more or less detract from whatever you are watching. But these guys are exceptionally talented in that regard, and that might be down to them being themselves or their genuine talent, who knows. Overall, the story was good. I can see the Duffer Brothers are slowly trying to build a complex universe on this show. You have the Upside Down, the alternate dimension of terror and horror, with things that go bump in the night, and then you also have otherworldly, power-wielding children, which are not necessarily tied to the Upside Down or get their powers from there. It's a fairly complex world, so I understand the need to slowly introduce elements so as not to bewilder the viewer. I do think they could have explained a little bit more though. I recently read an interview with the brothers where they said they don't feel the need to necessarily reveal everything or even explain much, which yes, that is true. However, I will say don't make the mistake of just omitting information for mystery's sake. We the viewer have to learn a certain amount to feel invested and engaged, and also feel as if there has been a payoff to our engagement. If we never know and everything remains a mystery, then we will feel robbed, and not telling people things doesn't count as good storytelling. If anything, you should reveal certain elements through better storytelling. But that being said, I really did enjoy this story. I would have liked a little bit more information on what the Upside Down actually was, as it seems to run concurrently with our world, but is a mirror reflection of it, kind of. The scientists had a year to study it. They could have given some elements away, but that's just a personal opinion, of course. The effects for TV were incredible all round. There was a scene that took me way out of what I was watching though, and one where I feel critique is justified. When Bob was laying on the ground and all the demodogs were feasting on him, the texture of those creatures in comparison to Bob was just horrible. It was, however, the only bad effect shot I saw in the whole season, so overall, they definitely upped the quality all round. The music speaks for itself. It was superb, nostalgic, atmospheric and fun, with certain pieces chosen. Loved it. They did a great job and it was the icing on the cake in my eyes. I really enjoyed this season of Stranger Things. I'm happy to hear they are working on season 3, potentially soon, and I'd like to think this is a show that could at least have another 2 seasons before they should retire it. Not through boredom or anything, but to not continue on and labour the story, ending on a good note and creative note rather than just rehashing the same old crap and falling into less and less quality. However guys, what did you think of the latest season? Does your opinion match up with anything I've said here, or do you differ wildly? And were you one of the people who were annoyed with the ending? If so, why? Drop your thoughts on this down below in the comment section, and if you did enjoy this video then please consider leaving it a like and sharing, as it really does help the channel out. If you're new here then hit that subscribe button to stay notified of all my future content. I've been Mr. H, and until next time, I'll catch you in the comment section.